Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm new to this whole Zoom thing. I'm a bit old school.
It's okay.
Cool.
It just
Thank
says
you.
iPhone. Who are we speaking with?
This is Raymond Weston. I'm a pupil of Lauren.
Oh, okay, yeah, Lauren. Yeah, we love Lauren. She's awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's up? We got Annika and Jesus. How you guys doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Hey. What's up, Jesus?
Hey, what's up, Carlos? How you doing, brother?
No, I'm good. Thanks for asking, bro.
That's good, man. First time here, so
Oh man, great. Yeah, all we do is we do some role play, do live calls, and on Fridays we do underwrite multifamily or Airbnb opportunities. I'm fairly new to the multifamily, so I learn with everybody else learning in here, and we have an underwriter that's within the sub-2 community that's pretty good at underwriting and looking at multifamily. So the whole goal is to learn, grow together, and hopefully start performing on multifamily closer to the end of the year.
cool, man. Sounds good. Sounds good. Excited to be here. Excited to learn.
So where are you located at, bro?
Right. I'm in San Diego.
Oh, okay, you're not too far from me. I'm in Palm Springs.
Okay, yeah, not too bad. A couple hours.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah. Right now I'm just I'm not sure if you know George. Cold calling for him. A little
Which
bit.
George?
And George Mahoney or Mahoney.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
work with George Mahoney too.
Yeah. So just, cold calling for him for a little bit and then just, driving for dollars around here in my area.
Nice. Okay, so you and somebody else came in here from George's crew, right? I
I
think we
believe.
did. Because I work some of your guys' leads. I see your name now. I'm Carlos, the one that works the other leads on them.
Right.
I do that for like 2 or 3 people who have some solid leads and they just want somebody else to tag me in or something. I have 2 or 3 podios where I work, I don't know, 10, 20 leads or so.
Yeah.
Cool, man. We're just gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna wait till 3:10 so we can start it up. Do you guys have any questions so far? Anything that I can just answer before we get into like some action?
Yeah, I have a question. Okay, this thing still says iPhone, but it is what it is. Um, I'm from Bronx, New York. And being a New Yorker, I'm looking at a lot of rehab properties, boarded up properties. Post COVID, a lot of landlords are allowing their properties to become dilapidated, deferred maintenance, whatever the catchphrases are. Um, if somebody like myself wants to basically like try to find the value of the property, are there any databases that I can access to like punch in the address and say, okay, this is the ARV for the property so that when I want to put an offer in on said property, I have a good running estimate of what the property's value could potentially be?
Yeah, absolutely. So like their websites are out there for free are Redfin, Zillow, Realtor. Those are all ones that you can compare prices on similar homes, similar build out, bed and bath count, square feet type of thing within the same neighborhoods. And then there are other ones that you can pay for. There's one called Privy. There's Privy, I believe you get access to like a lot more of the MLS access, investor activity. I think you get good comps on there as well. There's batch leads and prop stream. I'm sure there's a handful more. Those are the ones I know. And then working with
Okay.
realtors or be able to get MLS access. Those are all opportunities for you to actually look at an address and compare other homes in the market of what they're selling for.
Okay, now to basically to piggyback off of the suggestions that you're giving me, I've found through my experience, and I don't know because you guys are way more seasoned than I am in any of this. I've found that like software like Privy doesn't really pull up information regarding five and more unit properties because in New York, I would assume it's like the same thing for like California, Los Angeles and stuff like that, where it's like five or more units or like 25 unit properties, skyscrapers and things of that nature. um Outside of the MLS, are there any other softwares that deal in what many people consider like commercial
Yeah,
properties?
yeah. So there's CoStar, and there's
Mm,
LoopNet, there's Crexy, and those are all besides trying to work with a broker and seeing if you can get MLS access with them. When working
mhm,
multifamily and things like that, it's always good to work with brokers as well. That is one that I could recommend when you're getting into that multifamily space. The bigger units, it's
mhm.
always good to have a
Yeah.
broker represent you. I haven't
Oh,
gotten
okay.
there yet. I read a lot, and I've heard a lot of great people who are in the multifamily, and they talk about too.
Mhm,
It's always good to use a realtor or a broker in that scenario. But yeah, the
mhm.
Crexy, the LoopNet, and CoStar. I believe CoStar is like $400 a month. Yeah, they're a little
Oh,
bit more
okay.
pricey. Yeah, they're more pricey on the commercial side of things, but I think the other ones, like the single family home ones, duplexes,
Yeah.
triplex, quadplex, those are like $100 a month, and then you have the free ones, obviously.
Okay, and which ones were the ones you said were $100 a month?
Batch leads, prop stream, and privy. And I'm sure there's a gang more that are around that like that price. I just don't know all the names of all the other ones.
Oh, okay, cool. No problem. I'd definitely check it out. Because for me right now, between looking at being tempted to be more, accurate and honest, being tempted by all of the boarded up properties that I'm seeing in my area, I'm like, if I can get like a couple of these like under contract, just half the ones that I've seen on Craigslist, the ones that I've seen in my general area, there's a lot of properties in the New York area that are like visibly deferred maintenance. So I've basically been on the phone with the owners and saying, "Hey, I'm seeing a for sale by owner sign, or oh, this building for sale, investment property." And before I go through the negotiations with them, I'd like to, basically just have a running idea of, saying how much is this property going to be worth, so I know what to negotiate with. Because unfortunately, and I'm really trying not to make this like a long-winded explanation, but a lot of them are basically like, I know it's a negotiation tactic, but a lot of them are asking like what I consider ridiculous asking prices, for the properties, and stuff like that. Even some of them that are like presently vacant. I have one broker who's basically his initial asking price is like 2.9 million for a completely vacant 6 unit property.
Yeah, so I know real estate out there is pretty pricey, just like California where I'm at. Second
Hmm.
thing, brokers obviously they just want to get paid the most, so they're always going to put the price the highest. And
Yeah.
another thing is learning how to negotiate, right? And then learning how to negotiate in that field. So learning the game and multifamily is going to help you. So then you can learn to counter. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and the good thing is like commercial properties. A lot of them are sold on terms or with lenders. I believe commercial properties are. I think they're non-financeable. I don't think banks are allowed to give financing, or I don't think they make a decision on financing commercial. So
Mm.
most people are bringing in private money, hard money,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
or are financing it from the actual owners of the place.
Oh, okay. Mm.
Yeah, there are a
And so
couple
I
ways
could
to probably go about it, like those like that. Maybe you can do some novations or create a financing to get in there, but yeah, you definitely just got to negotiate. You got to find out for sure, like because these are vacant, right? They're not currently performing.
Right now, the one that I'm looking at in Manhattan is completely vacant. It's a 6 unit property over a commercial space, so it's a mixed use property, completely vacant. The residential 6 units has to have new plumbing put in, pipes. Basically, it's a shell,
Yeah,
that type of property. So, and I'm coming in as like a complete novice saying, hey, I'm interested in the property. The only reason for me personally why I even want that particular property is it's a couple of blocks away from a very good friend of mine, and she works in an office as a security person. So it's kind of like the universe kind of like put this particular property in front of me. So I'm just trying to take the ball and run with it. There's another property that I'm interested in that's also boarded up. It's on St. Anne's Avenue in Bronx, New York. And there's actually two boarded up properties right down the block from each other. So it's like one of those type of situations. One is a 25 unit, and another one is listed it's registered with the city as an 11 unit property. So as I'm walking around, I'm coming across like a bevy of boarded up properties and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, if the landlord's not doing anything with it, I have no problem rolling up my sleeves and putting, the work in, or, outsourcing what I can. And, I just like coming across distressed properties. It's just like a thing with me, so I'm trying to get as much input as I can, once again, as a complete novice and stuff like that. And then as I get traction, you know, giving back to the community that basically can assist, my way of saying thank you. I know it's like a weird, way of, explaining the whole situation.
Dude, don't even worry about it, man. It's just part of the game, literally just speak up. If I don't know it, I'll go find somebody else because I like to learn. So you're doing fine, bro. Yeah, just
Thank you. I
get out
appreciate
there,
it.
do a little bit of research. That's all it really is. And then just go and be bold. Go make mistakes, go call, go try to negotiate, like things like that. Come into some underwriting sessions so you start to understand how to underwrite multifamily. I believe like
Hmm.
I believe your confidence comes from knowing how to do things. And so you can be a confident person, but then having to get into a new field while being confident behind the scenes still doesn't mean you know what you're doing. So it's like go out there and learn the field that you want to learn. There's so many ways to make money in real estate. And if you really want to get in multifamily, I suggest that you start partnering up or getting into a lot more of the Zooms of people who host multifamily and get into more Facebook groups that are multifamily and also drop
Yeah.
those questions and see other experienced people. And I'm a noob like yourself in this
Oh,
in
okay.
this space in the space of multifamily. I'm a noob, and
Yeah.
I've been in this space for about like 6.5 months now total. But I've started to learn and get more seasoned on the single family home side of things. I got 7 properties now. I've wholesaled like 4, so I'm just getting
Oh,
started.
congratulations.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm just getting
Okay.
started. So we're just
Hey, that's a good
rocking and
start.
rolling. Yeah, we're excited now.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
we're gonna get into a little bit of role play, and then
Oh, okay,
do
cool.
one or two. We'll do one or two, and then I'll even do some live calls for everybody today. Yeah, knock out some
Oh,
calls, anyways.
cool, excellent.
Cool, guys. What's up, everybody? Who else is in here? Let's see. What's up, Lauren?
Hey,
B.
what's up, everybody?
Hey, Lauren, my mentor.
Yeah.
Hi. I was listening. I was like, okay, so this is good that Carlos could answer something. But yeah, he was so right about that whole thing. You have to get into the groups, the multifamily groups. They'll definitely
Mm-hmm.
help you. And even
Okay.
just, doing these role plays, coming into the role plays will give you good experience.
Okay, definitely. Before you start with the role playing and stuff, basically, how often do you guys do this whole Zoom, 2022 thing, so I can mark it down on my calendar so I can factor it into my schedule?
Carlos, I would say, is it every day, Carlos, at this point, or is it like every other day?
No, yeah. So I'm trying to bring some more value to you guys. And this was this Facebook group that we first created was more of an accountability, but now we're making it real educational so we can help others besides ourselves. It's good for deal flow as well. Not only do we get
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, a lot of cool things to do with it. But now we're consistent. We do Monday through Friday. I went from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific, and now because I work more on the East Coast of thing in the East Coast, and so I have a lot of people that are busy between 1 and 3, or which is like what, like 4 to 5 your guys' or 4 to 6 your guys' time.
It's 6 or
Yeah.
3 your time, is 6 our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I started shifting it from 3 to 5. So then it's 6 to 8 your guys' time. And that's
Oh,
what it's
okay,
going to be
cool.
from here on out. It's just really going to be Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. and whatever that is, 6 to 8 p.m. your guys' time, or Eastern time at least.
Oh, okay, cool. So just so because once I'm done with the call with you guys, then as I spoke with Lauren, I'm going to get immediately on the call with the lead I was telling you about, Lauren, with the $80,000 the person that wanted me to take that wants somebody to take over their mortgage payment.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to basically like this is one of them instances where like I believe I'm overthinking the process and stuff like that because I'm coming in as a like a newbie and stuff like that. So once you guys do the role playing thing and hopefully I'll get the gist of it, then I can kind of like pick somebody's brain on it and say, okay, what type of questions should I be asking this seller to get a better understanding of how me and the seller can both help each other.
Yeah, when you hear the role plays, take notes. You're gonna hear the
Oh yeah,
questions.
definitely.
So just
I
definitely.
got a whole clean notebook just dedicated to it.
Yeah, well, let's get started then in that case. Carlos, are you still here? Who wants to start role play? We need a seller and we need a buyer.
uh, well, what is it basically that everybody's going to be role playing on? Like role playing on taking over payments or role playing on like other categories?
Just the basic, just depends on the conversation, how the conversation goes. So if we need a seller and we need a buyer. So the seller is going to be determining, what their situation is.
Okay, I think Carlos came back because I'm seeing him on the screen. So I think yeah, Carlos, I think I see
Yes,
you.
he's
Yeah.
here.
Oh, okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure because he's pretty much like leading the ship. So, I want to make sure the captain is still available.
Cool. Let's do this, guys. So we'll get into some role play. What's up, Shamray? How you doing? I'm listening today at work. Otherwise, I would jump in. Sweet. Well, next time we'll get you in here. Who else? I think somebody else asked a question. Let me get that out of the way real quick. Here we go. Daryl. Okay. Yeah, same thing. So, Daryl, if you're trying to get into multifamily, join us on Fridays, 3 to 5. We're doing multifamily every Friday. I guess you could just go to like Facebook groups and put in like multifamily and jump into some ones that you think that, might be beneficial. I know there's some other sub 2 students, Myron and Carolyn, I think Joseph, Mud. Those guys are rocking and rolling. You guys can always try to jump into their multifamily. They're pretty experienced. So those are the ones I would jump into. And I think those are all the little questions for now. And we'll go ahead and get into some role play. So I'll go first. I'll be an end buyer. I like to put in some practice myself Monday through Friday. A couple of reasons. It just keeps me up to par, right? Keeps it very fluid for me. Subconsciously, I'm understanding how to remember all these questions by doing it. And then it just gives me deal flow for other people who maybe need a little bit of help and they can hear me out. They give me opportunities to close deals. The whole goal is for everybody to participate at some point. I know a lot of people are probably doing other things, working or some errands, but the whole goal is to participate so then we can see your performance level up. Me, I'm chilling. I'm always going to be fine. I just want others to get in here and participate, maybe get the mind right, have this attitude that you can do it. I think that those who believe they can or can't, both of them are right. So just wanted to put that out there and let's get into it. I just need a little bit of help. I need somebody to be a seller for me. Could be anybody. Somebody jump out of their seat now.
Well, I mean, has anybody ever actually sold a property, been a homeowner and sold a property? Because I think most of us, I mean, I'm going to speak for myself. I think most of us are coming in and looking at things from a investor's perspective. So it's almost hard for people to put themselves in like a seller's mindset with the emotionality and everything. So getting somebody to
Have you called in?
volunteer.
Have you called enough sellers?
I mean, I've spoken with sellers, but most of because I'm in
You'll
New
pick up
York,
the stories from them, that's all we need is
yeah,
a scenario.
but from a New York perspective, it's like pretty much every quote unquote seller I've talked to is a seller slash landlord, seller slash investor. So you really don't get like the emotionality from some, as opposed to somebody who's been in their property for 20 years and this is their primary residence and all of that different type of stuff.
Yeah, I work them all. I work all over the nation for a lot of people. I help people out. So I talk to homeowners who've never sold homes like that. I've talked to multiple investors, lenders, and things like that. All part of the deal.
Mm.
It's all part of the game. You're not gonna know exactly who the person is when you're calling them anyways. You don't know if this is their first home or hundredth or
Yeah.
thousandth home.
Mhm.
But let's do this. Lauren, do you think do you have some time to be a seller for me?
Yes.
So
Thank you, Lauren.
what we'll do is this. We'll do an ARV of 300,000, and it'll be a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square feet.
Okay. I have to lock myself away from my son for a second.
Oh yeah, he's cool. He's a cool cat. Where's he at?
He's out there running around like a crazy person.
Yeah, usually I hear him yelling in the back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Reminds me of the days when I was helping to raise my cousins. So trust me, I completely understand.
Okay.
All right, let's go. You said I'm the seller, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do ring ring. Everybody just put yourself on mute. Lauren and I will just use our regular names, okay?
Yep.
All right, ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Lauren? It's Carlos. How you doing?
Hi, Carlos. Do I know you?
We don't know each other. This is our first time. Hey, the reason why I'm giving you a phone call is I'm looking at your property. It's 123 ABC Street. And I just wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to know if you've ever considered selling it.
No. Did you see a for sale sign?
No, I never see for sale signs, and I call a lot of people. It's just that I invest in properties and I'd rather go off market. It's where I can directly speak to the homeowner instead of an agent. That's why I kind of brought that up. You ever considered it? Or am I the first person calling you?
Well, people have called me and tried to offer lowball numbers, but I'm not gonna move if it's anything lower than 300. The market's really good, so I mean, I'm not looking to sell, but if you have 300, then we can close.
Got you. So other people are calling in and they're giving you low ball offers. I hear you want around 300 what market price is. I'm bringing it up right now on my laptop so I can check comparables. What were those low ball offers at? Just curious.
Like 180, 160. My
Okay.
house doesn't need that much work. I mean, it was built in the 90s, but it's in pretty good condition.
Okay. And so I'm understanding a low ball offer is 160 to 180. So I'll make sure I don't go and give you that. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions on the condition. You said it was built in the 90s and it's fairly good condition. Is this a primary residence or like a rental?
Well, it was a rental, but the tenants weren't paying and I had to get them out. It was a whole situation, but it's vacant now. It's been vacant for a couple of weeks.
Got you. Okay. And so when these tenants were in there, what were you charging them?
They were paying about 1,400.
Okay. So they're paying 1,400, and is this free and clear? Do you owe a mortgage?
Well, I owe about 60,000 left.
Okay. And so then what is your monthly payment to that, like the principal, interest, tax, and insurance?
Well, altogether I pay about, I would say 1,100 for everything.
Okay. So 1,100, and you were charging them 1,400, so you're making about $300.
Yes, it wasn't enough for me to even get out of bed.
Totally get you. So like you jumped in, wanted to be a landlord, make some passive income, and you kind of maybe liked making that monthly check, and then something happens where they start defaulting, right? They weren't making payments is what happened.
Yeah, they weren't making payments. They had a lot of activity going on. I think they were selling drugs. It was just a whole situation.
Okay. And so how long were they not making payments?
For about 6 months.
Okay. So you had to spend $6,600 while they were living there? That came out of your
Yep.
pocket? Ouch.
Yeah.
Not
It's
really
crazy.
there, right?
That's why I'm glad they're out of there. But I mean, it's not worth someone offering me 160. I mean, I'm not gonna take 160 just because of that. I could fix it up and rent it for about almost 2,000 now.
Okay, and I'd like to ask you if are you gonna do that? Are you gonna go ahead and fix it up and put renters in there for 2,000?
I wouldn't like to because I don't live in the state, but I mean, worst case scenario, I'd rather do that than take 160 or 180.
Got you. Do you ever think about, like, if you were to get another tenant, do you ever think now that this happened that this might happen again, or do you think it'll be better on the next round?
I have a feeling it'll happen again, and that's why I don't think I'm in the business of being a landlord.
Got you. But you did like the monthly income that was coming in?
It wasn't enough. Like I said, it was really low. I felt like, I mean, I was close to paying per month on them. So, I mean, it wasn't even enough for me to feel comfortable. It was times where I had to fix things. So I was out of pocket most of the time.
And how far are you from this? You said you don't live close by.
Well, I'm in a whole nother state.
Okay.
This property is in Georgia. I'm in Michigan.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and is that, you only have one home out there?
Yes.
Yeah, so I get you. You probably don't have like a property manager to help you out, take care of those little things.
Not at all. I didn't think it was even worth paying them to do it because I only get 300 a month. Well, I was only getting 300 a month, so didn't seem worth it.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. And then, you have to save a little bit of money for just in case on a rainy day if something happens.
Exactly.
So with the condition of the inside of the house, though, have you been there in the last, few months since it's been vacant?
No, it's only been vacant for a few weeks now, but I haven't been there.
Oh.
No, I haven't been there at all. So I have
Okay.
no idea how it looks.
Okay, and then when did you buy the house?
I bought it in the 90s.
Okay, so you bought it brand new in the 90s?
Yep.
Okay, and so then let me ask you this, like the kitchen, the floors, the restroom, have you renovated that in the last 5 years?
Nope. I would say within the last 10 years.
Okay, so sounds like it just needs some cosmetic upgrading, right? To bring it up to what today's standards look like.
Yeah, there's nothing bad. Like the roof is good. The foundation's good. All the major things are good.
Okay, so it sounds like roof, good, electrical, plumbing, is that good?
Yep.
So all of that's good, just needs cosmetic repairs. Lowball offer to you is 160 to 180.
Well, honestly, I don't even know at this point because remember, I haven't been in the property. So it could, that's the last time I checked. I have no idea what its current state is.
Right. And are you planning to go out there and take a look at it so then I have eyes on it as well? Or is it like you have somebody nearby that could take the photos for us? Or is it, we're just kind of guessing how it is right now?
Well, you wouldn't be able to give me an offer based on that. Based on the information I just gave you.
No, absolutely. No, 100%. You gave me enough information to give an offer. For sure. And I'll tell you what, I understand why everybody's at 160, 180. Because as a cash investor, we do numbers pretty similarly. And if others are offering you 160, 180, then it sounds like that's what was happening, right? People were offering those numbers.
Yes.
That's where I would need to be as well for this to make sense, because of the fact that 10 years old, so I'd have to renovate it all. There's more to it. I still need to make a minimum profit. I use lenders, need to make them some money as well. So yeah, I totally understand. And you know what? I'll tell you this, that I'm going to be a cash buyer at 160 to 180 as well. That's not going to work, right?
No.
Well, how far from
get
that
up
number to cash?
300. I mean,
Yeah.
I could do like 250 the lowest, but I don't want to. I want to be as close to 300 as possible. I still have to pay that $60,000 off.
Got you.
I still want to make money.
No, 100%. We all do, and you have the right to ask whatever you want for your property. I just know that I won't be able to pay 250, and I'll just be a little transparent with you. If I have to spend 250 and then put 30, 40 grand into this thing, and now I'm at 290, I mean, I don't make any money once I sell it, list it, pay a commission. I actually lose money. See, I'm not the homestead end buyer who wants to live there. just an investor wants to make who's going to make money on it, right?
But what if the market goes up and you're gonna make more money?
Right. No, the market just went up the last year and it's actually not a seller's market anymore. It's going to turn into a buyer's market. You see, I wouldn't mind buying it closer to 300 cash. If this was 3 months ago, I was very bold. I was buying and spending up to 80 to 90% on the dollar. No, I'm not. I'm very conservative. I'm closer to 60 cents on the dollar for reasons that the economy isn't stable at the moment. Materials are expensive and the rates right now for mortgages they're crazy. I've noticed this because I buy nationwide that a lot of homes are still going onto the market. They're getting listed. They're taking longer now to sell. There's less offers, and when the offers are being submitted, they're stronger negotiations. I'm not saying that I'm not investing. I'm just not going to be so bold and lose. I would be foolish doing that. So I'll tell you this, that since we can't make it happen at 160 or 180 cash, I'll let you know that I'm not going to be your cash buyer for that price.
Even though it doesn't need that much work. I mean, it
No,
might. What if it doesn't need that much work?
And what if it does? We're playing on a what if game, and not only on that, it's just 10 years old. So even what if it doesn't, right? Does it? I won't be able to get 300 unless I match the homes in the area that are going for 300. Kind of like
But my neighbor's house just sold for 350, and it looks like mine.
So their house is 10 years that hasn't been renovated 10 years ago.
Well, it's been renovated, but it's about the same year.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of homes actually like your home can be sold for 300, but when you look at the photos online and you compare them to what we believe to be your home, it's not an apple to an apple, though the shell on the outside looks pretty similar. The same build out, 3-bed, 2-bath type of thing. It's not the same thing. The material there's not the same thing. It's not an apple to an apple. I don't want to
Okay,
go
well, that makes sense. My
Yeah, and I
property
don't
needs
want to go
work.
further and give you a number that's even lower because that's where I would really rather be. But let me ask you this. Why don't you just try listing this thing so you can get more money for it?
I could, but I mean, I'm not there to do showings, and I mean, I just don't know how the process would work with a realtor, and I just feel like it would be annoying.
Got you.
So I was just, considering cash first, but if I have to, I would go that route.
hmm And like you have the other opportunity to just put money into it yourself, right? And then re-rent it out.
I could, but it'll take me months to do that on my salary.
What would you rather do if you list it or fix it yourself?
I mean, I would do both, but I mean, like I said, it would take me months to fix it up, and then with the realtor, it would be annoying. So I don't really want to do either.
But if you had to list it with the realtor for what, 250, is that what you would do?
I'm not sure. I mean, I hope so. I know they have their fees. I'm not sure what the fee is, but
Yeah, they're about 6%. So let's just say that you sell it for 250 right now. Nationwide to sell your home costs about 10%, 6% to realtors, 3-4% for closing and escrow fees. So if you sell it for 250, you're spending what, 25,000? Are you looking to walk away with 225?
no, not if it's no.
Oh,
Not if
okay.
it's listed on, the MLS. I want to get 300 that way.
I don't think that you would get 300 for the reason that the ones that are selling for 300 to 350 look just completely different than yours on the inside is all.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I get that. So what would your offer be?
So I can pay a little bit higher, I can pay a little bit more than most cash investors. I've actually been known to pay closer to market price on properties. It's just that the way I purchase them is on terms. Is that something that you'd be willing to work with me on?
I mean, I'm not too familiar with what that is. So I'm
Yeah,
not. I don't
it's
think
pretty
so.
simple. It's like payments over time type of thing. And I'll give you an example. When I first started off one of my businesses, I was a painter, and I'd got this 2003 F-150, and I through the years I started to scale my business, and I made money. I drove a lot, and that's last year I got a new car, and so when it was time to get a new car, it was time for me to sell this one. And you know what? I wanted to get 10 grand for it, and it wasn't really worth 10 grand. I even checked on the Cali Blue Book online to compare an apple to an apple for your type of cars and stuff. And it was worth like $5,000. And so I listed it, and 3 months goes by after I get my new car, and my old car is still sitting it's still sitting right there in the driveway. My girlfriend comes home and she's a little upset and says, just get this out of here. It's ugly. You should have traded it in. I didn't want to. I wanted to make money. I guess there was an emotional time. Whatever. I wanted to make more money on it. Well, what happened is my girlfriend gave me the idea to sell it on payments, just get it gone. So I went back onto the ad and I said I'll sell it for payments. And you know how much I ended up selling the car for?
What?
12,500. And I asked for 10. I was really cool. So like in this scenario where I got to sell my car, it wasn't really because of the car was worth it. It's because what the car can do for the guy who bought it. He was a drywall contractor, and he just started, and he needed a vehicle to scale his business and feed his family. So the value was that the vehicle was going to allow him to close deals and make money. So he had given me some money down and made a payment over time, and he ended up paying me 12,500.
How would that work if I have a mortgage? Can you hear me good? I feel like I might have an echo.
No, I hear you great. Yeah. So how it works with the mortgage is I would take over your existing debt, your 60 grand and $1,100 payment, and then I would owe you some equity, right? So we'd come to an agreement, and I'd be closer to that 225, 235 number mark. You're at 250. If you were to use it on a realtor, you'd be lower. So I'd say that I can come up closer to those prices. Remember, I'm at 170, 180. But I can come up closer to those prices if you're open to working with me on the terms.
I mean, as long as I could get as much, as close to the number I'm looking for.
Okay. So
I would need at least half down though.
yeah, you see, the thing is, when I put half down, it messes up my cash flow. Remember this, all I got to do is just cash flow. For me to give you more, it sounds like I'm the only one that's really going to offer you more. For me to give you more money, you just got to make sure that I can cash flow. Otherwise, how am I supposed to win, right? I'm an investor. I would be a fool if I actually spent money to lose money like that. It wouldn't make sense. And I use other people's money, so I don't want to be a bad financial steward and then just ruin things for myself and be unethical. You just got to know that if I'm willing to pay you more, I just need the terms that makes me some money every single month.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I give half the amount of money down, it ruins the deal for the fact that I use lenders. And you're at $1,100 a month. We can charge $1,400. If I were to renovate this, what do you think I can rent it out for?
About 1,800 to 2,000.
So 1,800, so around $700 right there. But typically, the way it works is the more I spend on the property, the higher I go. And I typically work with less money down. Most homeowners ask for 5 to 10 grand when I come up to their asking price like this, for a few reasons, as well as I get allocated funds every month to purchase homes. I'm not in a rush to spend my money or other people's money. But when I go out there and I do this and I help other family members and I give them the price that they're looking for, they typically ask for $5,000 to $10,000 down. And if you're asking for half the money down on 235, you're asking for $100,000 plus dollars. I could easily be helping 10 to 20 other families putting $5,000 to $10,000 down. You see how it would be kind of a bad decision for me to put that much money down.
So let's say you give me 20% down. How much would you pay me towards my equity per month?
Right. So if I have to take care of the 60 grand and there's $1,100, there's $1,800 in that we can bring in after we renovate it. I just need a cash flow. So if you were making $300 each month on this, like how you were right now, would you work with me the same way? $300 a month. The only difference is you're no longer liable to the property, the improvements, or any tenants. So the gross is your true net. You just get a monthly check. That's all.
Well, if we were to do it that way, I would want to make some interest or something, the way the bank does it.
Okay, well, what were you thinking?
What's the going rate? I'm not sure.
The going rate, I don't know. I could go to the bank and pull the going rate and get a brand new home. And so if we go to the going rate, I'll just rather go to the bank and get a brand new home that's ready to go. I'm not opposed to not paying your interest, but what were you thinking?
Like 2%.
Okay, 2%. So what if I was able to, I don't want the 2% to mess up my cash flow. What if I was able to finance you that 2% on the 60 grand?
Okay, I mean, as long as I make the 2%, I don't care about when I get it.
Yeah, so if I can just tag that onto the price, right? Let's say instead of 235, if I gave you 245 and you let me finance it, so then I can still make the money every single month, would that work with you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so I'd be paying 245 for the home at 0% interest, and I would be making a $1,400 a month payment to you each month. So then I can bring in 18. That sound about right?
But what happens when you don't pay? Like if you don't pay my mortgage, will I still be liable? Will it go on my credit?
That's a really good question. It's a good concern because you just literally dealt with all of that, right?
Yeah. And I don't
So
want to.
great question, right? So in a worst case, best case scenario type of thing, you would be in the best case scenario. I would be in the worst case scenario. And here's why. Since you're willing to work with me on your property, you're the lender, I'm the borrower now, you're the bank, you're now allowing me to finance this property. I signed a document, we both do. It's called a performance mortgage constant close. And what it states is that if I fail to perform on the mortgage, that the property will get deeded back into your name. And at that point, I would have given you some money down and made these payments. Let's say, 6-7 months down the road, something happens to me, I get hit by a car or I get picked up by aliens, whatever gnarly, whatever it is, right? I couldn't pay you. You take this property back. I first gave you some money down. You keep that. I renovated it. You keep all of that. You decide you can sell it or it's renting and cash flowing $1,800 and you keep that as well.
Wow. So I
Yeah,
get the property back?
yeah, it would actually be a bad decision on my end if I didn't know how to perform. But here's a couple of things. I'm a business, so I have other properties that cash flow for me. So I either pick up the slack or lose it. And so I have those options. You're protected in there.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I mean, do I have to get my lawyer involved in this?
If you'd like, that's up to you. I know a lot of people usually purchase cash. This is a little bit different. My lawyer can talk to yours. My attorney can talk to yours. It's up to you.
Is there a way you could send me this to my email so I can have my attorney look at it?
100%. What's your email?
Lauren@mail.com.
Great. Lauren, is it just you on the title or is there somebody else?
Well, it's just me.
Okay, perfect. So then what I'll do is I'll draft this up. I'll send it over to you. And then you mind if I give you a call back? And if you have any questions, concerns, we can address them right there and then.
Okay, sounds good. I'll send you my lawyer's email as well. Well, my lawyer's phone number and email.
Cool, Lauren. I hope that I can help you out and I can purchase another property.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good one. Bye.
You too.
What up,
Okay.
guys? You guys have any questions for me?
Everybody's so quiet today.
Everybody
I
What's
just
the name of
finished
the
unmuting
performance?
because I don't know if you can hear me, but I just finished unmuting. So, like you said, I didn't want to put any background noise in the middle of your role play.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions, any feedback, anything I could have done better?
I mean, for me personally, as a realistic conversation, I mean, based on my experience, it flowed like very professionally, which I don't know is like a good thing, based on realism and stuff like that, because especially when dealing with homeowners, my experience has been it tends to be a more emotional conversation, but the overall back and forth was like it very much flowed and you communicated, and Carlos, you communicated to the seller and you reinforced that you're in it for a business and to be profitable, and stuff like that. So you already got them thinking in dollars and cents, which is definitely, a good thing. I personally didn't see like any negatives to it. But I did have one question for you.
Sure.
There was a document that you talked about during the course of talking with Lauren as a seller. It's called the I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, the performance mortgage constant close document. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, that's basically it. Performance mortgage deed, performance mortgage, constant close, whatever you want to call it.
Oh,
Either
okay.
way.
I mean, is that a document that is like readily accessible, or do you have to have like certain like connections to be able to access a document like that?
Yeah, I'm in a mentorship with Lauren. Are you a sub 2 student or no?
No, not yet, but I'm working on becoming one.
Once you jump in, you can use Lauren's name as a referral code, get a discount. But once you jump in, you get access to everything that CPAs draft up for us. And one way
Oh, okay.
access is you JV a deal with Lauren or a sub 2 student, or you join the program and you get all the access to all the documents. But yeah, once you jump in, you get access, or you partner up with a sub 2 student, you're able to see everything.
Oh, okay, cool. That's definitely good to know. So
Or, I
basically
mean,
to
I guess if
Mhm.
realistic, if someone doesn't know the sub 2 mentorship, let's just give an example. You could always go to a lawyer and kind of have that conversation with them. It costs money to draft up these documents, but it could
Yeah.
always be done. You just have to know what you're looking for and what you need to get done through the contract.
Yeah. I mean, basically right now I'm just at the stage where, just want to do the basics, and stuff like that and get get the profitability as far as a sub 2 or at least option or whatever, people want to refer to it as. And just basically say, okay, find a seller that's open to doing that type of deal, have the contract ready, have them sign it. Now, as far as both you and as far Lauren, as you and Carlos up there, when you are doing
I
your
don't want to
thing
cut you off. I'm so sorry.
yeah, no
Because
problem.
we have so many people here. We don't have that much time. You could text me if you need a question, like a personal question or like something
Oh, okay,
else.
cool.
Just
No
because we
problem.
have
No
so
problem.
many people. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Does
Does
anybody?
anybody?
Thanks for the feedback too. That was great. Appreciate it. And what will happen is you just want to match people. So if Lauren was a little bit more aggressive like an investor, so would I have been as well. But I just match
Oh,
however
okay.
it is. Yeah. So I like to match people. But everybody's a little bit different. I like doing it that
Yeah.
way. She was smooth. I was smooth too. If it was aggressive, I would have been the same way.
Oh yeah, matching energy.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any feedback on that call? Any questions? Anything that they didn't know as well? Like, what'd you say your name was? Randy or no? Did I get that wrong? No. What did you say your name was?
What, my name?
Yes. I apologize.
Oh yeah, no problem. My name is Raymond, like the TV show.
Raymond. Sorry about that. Like
Yeah,
Raymond,
no
he asked
problem.
about how Raymond asked, "Hey, what was that document you talked about?" Does anybody have any questions that came up in their mind or head and needs an answer to it? A little bit of clarity.
Guess nobody has anything to say.
No, we're good then. Cool. So then let's do another role play or
Oh,
something.
I think somebody, Daryl said he can't. Sorry to interrupt. I think Daryl just sent a message up said he can't unmute for some reason.
Oh, sorry, can't unmute.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah,
Okay.
Daryl Griffin,
We don't
too
care
much
about your
background noise.
background noise. You hear my
Yeah, bro,
background?
we don't care. Lauren got a little kid that'd be crazy
Yes,
throwing
got a
poop
little
all over the
kid.
floor and shit.
My bad, I'm here. I have all three of the kids and shit. And they cousin.
It's okay. We love kids.
No, I
What's
sent
up,
their asses
Shane?
outside to ride their bikes.
Yeah. What's cracking, Shane?
Oh yeah, you know I'm here.
Hey, we gotta call one of your sellers, right?
Yeah, the person in Fresno.
Dude, that's the one I want to do, man, because I want to deal with Nathan, that Airbnb I have, and he lives in Fresno. That'd be perfect. I'd say let's do another role play, and then let's call that guy on the live.
All right.
He's on my Facebook. Does anybody want to do, or does anybody want to be an end buyer?
Let me be a seller.
Okay. Let's see.
I got a good seller I can act like that I had to talk to the other day.
Okay, so you're gonna be selling. My wife accidentally flooded the kitchen, so I'm.
Ooh.
Yikes. Okay.
Resolve
dude.
that. I'd stop listening. Like, no.
How did she accidentally do that?
There's certain
Like left the
questions.
sink on or something?
Yes, he asking the wrong question.
Certain
Like,
questions. I'm not even married, and there's just certain questions I don't touch.
how did you do that?
Happy wife, happy life. Leave certain things alone.
I thought it was happy spouse, happy house, but whatever.
No, trust me, bro. Happy wife, happy
Yes, but
life.
the spouse they speak of is still the woman. That's the spouse. They
No,
say
because
happy
spouse can be
spouses.
husband or wife. I prefer
Yeah.
happy wife, happy life, because women go to sleep much later than men do, and I don't need my wife looking down at me contemplating things.
I'm glad that she falls asleep.
Whoa, good
before
luck
me.
with that. All right, so I just want, I guess
Josh, be
we got a
careful.
seller. We need a buyer here.
Mm.
We can see you, Josh. You're good. Be careful. You driving,
I
pop.
love Josh. Josh, my boy.
I know he is savage, and I need
Can
him.
anybody
So
see me, or am I just an icon up in here?
It just says iPhone.
Yeah, it just says
Oh.
iPhone, bro. Just gotta
Okay,
turn it
good.
down.
I'm 1980s. I remember when Woolworth was a thing, so it's gonna take me about 3 or 4 tries to get onto this Zoom thing.
You still got the
And
Walkmans?
oh yeah, I still have the original
Love the
cassette
Walkman,
players
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Love them.
Yeah, I still got the one that
classics.
barely has the word Radio Shack on it.
Oh, sick, dude. That was like one of my first jobs, Radio Shack. I used to sell phones right there. That was the start of my
Yeah.
selling career. I was like 18. Then I went door to door alarm systems, and then
Oh,
I did
good
the
lord.
serving business, bartending business. Ended up bartending for a celebrity chef. Met some car dealership owners. Then went in the car business. Just went on from there. Sales.
Army guy.
What's up, Dom?
Benjamin
Yeah, so-
Holmes.
Hey, who wants to be the end buyer today? I need a little bit of participation here, guys. I want to see somebody.
You know, I'm back. I did a seller for. I mean, I was already an end buyer, so now I'm ready to be a seller.
All right. So we got one guy up.
Just only
we just
because,
need
like
an
how
end
you
buyer.
said
Who's
the other
available?
day, it's easy like to hear I'm like how you said earlier, the stories that we hear when we're actually calling these people. Like, oh, I got one for you.
You got one?
Like
Okay,
I
that's so cool.
got
I love being the end buyer 100%. I love doing it, but I'm here also to see others participate and then see where they are so we can get them to that next level. Just remember,
shit.
guys.
I would expect how many people you hear in a day or two or in a week. You've heard 80 million different stories. You feel me? You can
I'm
act like
prepared.
whoever.
I'm
Yeah.
almost prepared for everything. Almost. Just give me another few months and I'll be prepared for every scenario. I've heard a lot of crazy scenarios. Where I've seen some pickles too, like people get into crucial pickles and stuff, bro. I'm like, oh my God, how'd that happen? I was on a deal today where this lady had so many liens on this property that was literally destroyed, and it was like so many liens on it that it was like the ARV price. It was like 600 grand. It was worth literally like 200. I was like, oh yeah, never mind then. Never mind. And we just ended up saying, I can't buy this at all. Anyway, I wanted to do it creative. I couldn't do it this way. And said, yeah, you should just keep it, I guess. Go up that phone. Okay, so somebody who got some time. Come on, Empire here.
I don't think anybody's gonna volunteer to walk on those hot coals.
Not hard.
No, man.
It's
I
not
just,
hard for you
everybody will
guys.
get
You
to that
guys are
level.
seasoned.
Everybody will get to the level.
I'm like the new booty. I'm for sure new booty. I barely started. I still haven't even gotten the deal closed yet.
Okay, Shade, are you a New Yorker?
No, I'm from California.
Okay, because that term "new booty" has a totally different connotation in New York. That was why I was asking.
No booty. Are you from New York?
Hey, I know over there y'all
Like,
got a whole
in
different
Cali, that
language.
means something
Get
completely
2 kids,
different. In New
anyone
York, it has a
you
totally
want.
different
Another
connotation.
time, no. Dustin, you got a whole plate of food on your hands right now. Pretty busy right now. Look at him.
Come on, somebody, just throw yourself into it. I'll make it short. I ain't gonna make you feel weird.
Okay, come on now, somebody.
What would the end buyer basically have to do? Because we'll be sitting here like another 10 minutes, basically waiting for somebody to
Oh
volunteer.
no, somebody just needs to want to buy my house.
Yeah,
Who's
somebody just gotta
volunteering to
just
wanna
make a
buy my
call,
house?
you know? It's
I have
just
a-
make
I'll
a
be
call,
the
act like
buyer.
you're calling a lead.
I think somebody just volunteered.
I'll give it a shot.
Michael.
Sweet,
Oh, okay.
thanks, Michael. Thank you. So I leave the ARV at 300,000. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 1,500 square feet, just so that's there and it's simple. You guys just use your regular names, and Shane, you can, be the seller that you heard earlier today or whatever. So it's like a real scenario.
Okay, so
No,
just Michael,
everybody else-
just remember, you're going into this call because it's a FISBO you saw. Think of it that
Okay,
way.
I
So
saw.
this
Okay.
situation is a FISBO you saw.
Perfect.
Okay.
Everybody else put
Gotcha.
themselves on mute, and then just you guys do your thing.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, come on.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Sean?
Oh, it's Shane.
Sorry. Hi, Shane. This is Michael. I saw your post, your for sale by owner post.
Okay.
Just reaching out about it to see what's going on there.
Oh, well, basically everything that it says in the description.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're looking to sell, obviously. My name's Michael. I buy a couple properties in the neighborhood. Yeah, and I'm kind of interested in it.
Okay, are you looking
I,
for a house to live in, Michael?
No, actually, I'm actually looking for an investment property. Kind of looking for something that I could put some money into and either profit on the other side or maybe rent it out.
Okay, you're not one of those wholesalers, are you?
Absolutely not. Are they contacting you like crazy?
Oh, a lot of people have been contacting me trying to wholesale and get me under contract, but I really just need somebody that's going to end up buying this thing off my hands.
Gotcha. And they're giving you a bunch of lowball offers too, I bet.
Oh, no, not really. They're trying to come in with this weird creative financing thing that I've heard a bunch of times. And I just really think it's a scam, really, honestly.
Okay, well, we also do that too. What part of that are you not happy about? Maybe I can help clear some things up.
Oh no, it's just to me, it's just not one of those things I'm interested in. I just rather somebody buy this thing. I'd rather not have to deal with all the, things that people have going on when they try to scam people.
I got you. So you're looking for an all cash offer.
Basically.
Okay. What's the condition of the property? Have you remodeled anything recently?
Well, within the last 5 years, I had the house a little bit updated. But other than that, the kitchen still needs to be redone. And then it's probably going to need another roof.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, if we were able to get a number that you like, how soon would you want to sell it?
Well, you called me.
Yeah. So let me ask, are you living in it or is it tenant occupied?
Well, right now, it actually is a rental property. I got some people with a lease that's going to be up in January.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So they still got about 5 months to go. What are they renting it for?
I got them at market value.
Okay. Gotcha. Do you have a mortgage on the property?
I actually do.
What's that mortgage at, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've had the property now in my possession for at least 10 years, I would say. When I got it, I'm down to, we had it, I bought it around here, blah, 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 this number, I'm probably around still like 180 on it.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so what are you trying to take home after that 180 to get in your pocket?
Well, I would like to get the whole thing.
Right. So what is the whole thing? What?
Well, the number I'm looking for is 300,000.
Okay, so you're hoping to take home about 120.
Yeah, if so that way. I got a couple of other rental properties and such. I'm just trying to get this one off my hands.
Got it. Okay, so how come you don't list it with an agent?
I never really needed nobody to hold my hand through a situation or anything.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. Okay, well, I probably will be a cash buyer at that full 300, just because, like I said, I'm looking for something that I can put more money into and then make some money on the other end as a cash buyer. So I probably won't be a good cash buyer for you. And I'm assuming that's probably why all these other people are trying to do something creative of the sorts.
Yeah, because I was
So,
trying to get the whole thing paid off so that I can buy this other investment property that I was going to wrap this money into to avoid this tax season.
oh, I see. Okay. Right. So are you like going to 1031 it into the other property?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. See, I won't be a cash buyer for that. I'd be interested in putting maybe taking over your mortgage and then giving you a down payment, maybe something that would fit for that you could put into the other property you want to buy.
Is that involved with that creative financing stuff?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I just really don't think that's going to work for me.
Okay. Well, I'm always interested. Looks like this probably won't be a cash deal for me, but it doesn't mean that there aren't other cash buyers out there. But if you change your mind at all, I would love to talk about it more and reach out and see what we could work out for you.
Okay, well, here, take my email down and send me over a proof of funds, and then maybe I'll get back to you.
Okay. Okay, and
Just ABC
sounds
at
good. I can do that for
gmail.com.
you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Boop.
Bye-bye.
And I kid you dead
I was
ass.
trying.
I kid you, like, I'm not even playing. This is a conversation I had the other day. This is how he was talking to me. Like, I damn near you had a better explanation. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna critique myself because I made the call and you was talking, but you had a couple of better points that you got me with that I actually had to fill in the gaps for. But most of that, this is how that person was like explaining to me and talking and stuff, like verbatim the conversation I was having.
Dang.
That's why I was like, it's not. I was like, mine's not going to be hard. It's going to be pretty short and to the point. The person wasn't like aggressive and just out of the play, but he knew for a fact that he was. I tried harder than you did to go the creative route, so the conversation kind of was different. You did a little better than I did.
Yeah,
because he basically told me
that's what happens
sometimes. I was trying to read these messages too, and then I got. Yeah, I read the message and I got confused and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because I got told straight up to like fuck off. But then the funny part is at the end, he really hit me with the proof of funds part like that. Like that's how I knew he was like, fuck off. And then he was just like, well, hey, take my email down and send me over proof of funds and maybe I'll speak to you.
You know, just remember when we do this, when we're either wholesaling or locking up a deal, since we're looking for like distressed properties or deals, we're actually just looking for deals. We're finding them. That's all we're really doing. We're not creating them. I used to be in the car business. Ben used to be in the car business. You guys probably know or hear about car salesmen, about how aggressive they are, how you're walking into an oil change and somehow you're walking out with a new car, even though you just got a new car.
Hey, that's me.
That's the way it works in the business. And so we were taught a lot different. We were taught how to be true salesmen behind the scenes. Like, but the thing is, we were taught also to close a deal by any means necessary. You know, we had all types of ways to skin a cat. We did it. We were taught higher performance levels of once you close a deal, go out there and close another deal until the day's over type of thing. And right here, we're not trying to do that shit. There's no reason for you to argue, convince somebody. There's first off, you can't convince somebody to sell probably the biggest purchase of their life for whatever price you want, right? You shouldn't be arguing or battling with anybody because there's no deal. We're only here to look for somebody who's already willing to work with our business model and then just learn to negotiate from there. That's all you're really doing. So when there's deals like that, it's cool to just be like, understand that, okay, cool, there's the only thing is you can maybe could have asked them about more about why they don't understand creative financing. Maybe that's the only thing, but other than that, like, you don't fight them. You just hang up, you just end the call when you're done with it, you move on.
And trust me, everybody that was watching, what I just did is probably the worst call you can possibly have. There's nothing worse than that, other than somebody just saying no and hanging up. Like, you can't be scared. Like, that's not even scary right there. There's no fear. You just jump straight in and just start asking them some questions, having a casual conversation. If they start acting, standoffish, try to get them more exuberated, third party story or something, get them involved, make them talk more. It's the 70-30, you want to get them talking, less talking on my end. They'll tell it. But it don't really get no scarier than that. Like, if you feel like that was like, oh, that didn't seem like nothing, like that was really the worst that you can get when talking to somebody.
On your call, the one that you had, was the guy, did he have multiple properties already?
Yeah.
So for me, I would be like, hey, well, it seems like you're an investor yourself, and you can understand, in the investor side that, me paying for a property at full market value doesn't make sense for an investor. So just kind of put yourself at that same level, like acknowledge that, hey, you're an experienced investor and you're acknowledging that, he's a smart guy, but, in order for you to make a decision on moving forward with the property as an investor, you're in it to make money. Yeah. We're not here to convince them to sell us to sell us. They need to sell us on buying this property. We don't need to convince anybody. We're the ones buying. We're not the ones selling. So you just got to remind yourself that, if they're not even open to like, hey, this guy's just like straight off stubborn, I got more phone calls to make. I don't have time to explain to somebody that's not open to the idea of creative financing. Maybe somebody didn't explain it to you correctly, but if you give me a sec, I can explain to you why this would benefit you, especially like he was saying about the taxes. Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? There's capital gains that you won't have to pay by going through the creative side, and you'll save yourself money on taxes. So that's another way to approach it too.
Yeah, for me, it just needing those reminders.
When you were role playing, I was writing in the chat. You probably weren't able to bring it up, but when you were role playing, I was putting like, I think I had put something like, "What are your plans with the money? Like, are you gonna invest it or use it to leave in some bank?" And he's like, "Oh, well, he brings up. I mean, he brought it up anyways. Oh, I want to, invest or defer the taxes, right?" And then I just put, when you sell your house to me on terms, you save more money and keep more. When you sell me this way, you defer your taxes as well, because they really are, because they're selling it to on terms. You're deferring a capital gain. You're not selling it, and like it for all cash. And then same things. I'm like, well, I don't know, creative finance. Ask them if they ever, I forgot to put sold anything to their friends or family on payments. This is the same thing. Like, you can start relating to things that are outside of real estate to then open up their mind on terms. That's why in the last one I brought up that little fucking Pace Morby's truck story. The truck story.
Uh-huh.
So people can relate and be like, oh, I get it. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really, you're not going to do much with it like that. Obviously, they're not motivated sellers. They just want to sell it. Good job, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, he did really good though. He did way better than I did talking to the seller, because I didn't give him the responses like all the other ones that I was getting, because I ain't turning it down. You tell me you don't know something, I'm explaining to you. And then he's like, like, I don't care. It's just like set on it, like, no. And I'm just like, but if you understand this or that, so if I do this, this, and this, and this, how much would you sell it to me for? Like, and he's just like, you know what? Like, I think I pushed him to that point where he was just like, no, like this guy, no, like no matter what he says, no.
That's funny.
But even though he said no, at the end when he asked for the proof of funds, wouldn't that be still taken as like slight interest?
For me, I just see it as like he's trying to test to see if I was real or not, because he thinks it's a scam, and he probably then asked a lot of other people for proof of funds, and then they wouldn't show it to him, because most new wholesalers and stuff like that don't have a proof of funds or can't show proof of funds or probably don't even know what it is yet. And we're taught to go straight to the sub 2 community and partner up with somebody, and they'll be able to use the proof of funds given to them or such. Or if you have like a lender or something like that, you can use their proof of funds. If you're going to get a loan, you can
or like if you already done a deal on terms, you can just show them your purchase contract.
Yeah.
Like now that I have deals, if people would ask me, I'm like, dude, I can show you a whole bunch of contracts that I have are exactly like this. I'll show you the same signature I'm going to use on this contract. I'll just white out all the main information, but I'll show you the money down, how it's structured in the contract. Like once you start closing deals, you can use yourself as credibility. Before I would use Pace a lot. Pace, and he always said that you can use like his proof of funds, things like this, right? So I thought that was cool. But now that I'm doing deals, and people, when sometimes when people are trying to give you a high number, I start telling them like, look, I'm not in a rush to spend my money either. Like I look at a lot of deals. You might be motivated to sell on a discount. That's totally fine. But I'm not here to spend a lot of money either. I have a lot of deals that I look at throughout the week, which is true. That's a good thing. So you guys want to get busy first off. So then you can always remember that you're just trying to find a deal, not trying to create it, not forcing anybody.
Yeah, I'm a knucklehead with that one.
It's really, so check this out. So we're not really salesmen at all at this point. We just got to know how to negotiate. And you don't got to negotiate. You just got to really negotiate when it's time to talk numbers. Most people, you got to remember, like in the car business or every other sales business, ABCs always be closing. Right here, it's more about fact finding. You don't want to always be closing on them right now. You're going to get them aggravated. You want to just start to try to see how you can solve their problem. Obviously, they have a lot of them will have some type of distress. We're not calling like on market properties that are nice and nobody has distress, so we can't get a discount. We are calling in to just work it and do it repetitively then, and this shit would be easy. Give me a second, I'll answer this call.
For sure. Anybody else have any questions or anything, to bring up, that we can just add in the tally, throw something in the comments? Nothing. Because Benjamin got some answers.
The only thing I can add to all that is obviously maybe just more fact finding, finding out why they want to sell. What's the time frame? I know you didn't really answer his questions when you said he asked you how soon are you looking? You're like, well, you tell me. You called me. It's like, well, no, it's not really up to him. It's actually up to you because you're the seller. I don't know if you caught that or you.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, before we started, I was like, I got a good one for you, because the conversation for me was damn near hilarious. I was trying not to laugh the whole time, but I was really still trying to go for this person. So I was like, damn, if I bring this up in role play, everybody probably get a little kick out of it and think like, oh, he's being hella hard and shit. But I was like, no, to me, it was really a funny conversation, because like the same way you say, like you could add in all those key factors, third-party stories and everything, and somebody will still tell you, no care. My belief is my belief.
My opinion is you spend probably a little more time than I would have spent with this guy.
I did. I was probably on the phone with him a good 20 minutes.
That one thing that I do know, and I'm gonna tell you, is because it happened to me in the beginning as well when I first started. I'm no killer like Carlos is. My main thing is more of gator lending. That's what I do. But what I did find is sometimes when you're desperate to get a deal, you're acting like a salesman and you're trying to convince him why he needs to sell this property to you. And like I said, I was in the same place at a time, because you're so desperate to try to get a deal that
Mhm.
you're not really just following the steps of, finding out why they need to sell, a time frame, are there any parties involved, and and at the end of the day, numbers. It all comes down to numbers. Hey, if we can come to an agreement with, that you and I are both happy with, are you ready to move forward? Because if they say, hey, I'm not looking to sell anytime soon, you don't want to spend too much time on the phone, because honestly, the market changes. So if this guy's not ready to sell for 6 months or a year, you want to just hey, you know what? So let's just set up a follow-up, and I'll follow up with you in a month or so, just, once a month, just to see if anything changes, or just to say, hello. Sometimes people's situations change and they need to sell a lot sooner than they thought. So, I wouldn't just brush them off, but I would just, hey, we'll set up a follow-up call. I'll call you, in a few weeks or a month, depending on what they tell you. And yeah, just, stick to the basics. And, at the end of the day, just keep in mind, you're the buyer. You're not selling anybody anything. Just, go through the motions, build rapport. I in the car business, because that's where I met Carlos. you know I did most of my sales out of repeat business and building rapport with people wanted to buy just because they got to know me. They liked, who I was, and what came out of my mouth, and it's just, you're not trying to BS anybody. You're just trying to have just a regular conversation with somebody and build some rapport, and get them to trust you and want to sell you the deal.
Okay, I understand that.
It's
I
another
understand
reason
that.
why you guys, like, if you like, just imagine, I'm not sure if you guys are currently in these shoes, but like if you're in a position where you're struggling and it's hard to get a lead, and you're going through some of that where you're kind of being aggressive and you're catching yourself after that, you're trying to force somebody into a deal. It's because the reality is, if we're not training or practicing on our skills to be really good at what we're doing, and then you're only getting so little opportunities to close, and you're not practicing throughout the week to make sure that it's like secondhand nature on the phones, you're almost doing yourself a disservice. Like you're not paying attention to it because nobody's coaching you, because you're your own person. Nobody's hovering over you. You haven't met a mentor or whatever to tell you what you don't see in the mirror. But most people will do this. They'll start cold calling, and then a lot of them start to get comfortable on the phones because it took them a lot of time to get, through the anxiety and fear of stuff. Then they get good on the phones, but then they're using a script, and then a script just allows you just to remember what you see on the paper. It doesn't allow your mind to be creative. And so then when you don't practice, the it's like the professionals when they go to the big leagues, right? And same thing here for the big dogs like Pace Morby, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki. There's no way in hell that you can be that fucking good without practicing that well. That's why people who are all high performers, you hear about them and it's just about they train and they practice at it. And the thing is that you shouldn't even be allowed to be great at something when you start at something. Some people have natural talents, some people have gifts. I don't. A lot of people probably don't. We have work ethic. And so you just got to remember, you just got to put in some work. Like you got to think in your head, do you really deserve to get handed fucking this opportunity, or should you work your ass off? And then once you understand, like you're feeling like you're in the dark and you can probably see the light at the end of the tunnel, what happens is when you go through that and you just stay positive and you keep moving forward and you get to the other side and go through the light, you're surrounded by the fucking light. It becomes a game now. Like right now, I'm just learning it. I'm not out, but I'm learning it now. It's becoming easier. Well, here's the reasons why. I think I deserve it a little bit. I've earned it. I work, I study, I read. I come and not only try to educate, but by educating, it forces me to learn more so that I know it, that I can answer you guys and give you guys some like actual service. And if I don't know, I'll go figure it out. But I practice every day. And the beautiful thing is now, yes, I do have deals all day, every day. So not only do I practice, I'm actually seasoned. I'm getting in there flowing every single day. I'm practicing hard in role play. I'm coming out so that I remember what to say. most people will get on a role play and they forget the motivation, the timeline. If you guys pay attention or go back on this video when we posted, you're gonna see that I went and hit everything: motivation, timeline, condition, price. I hit it all. I went back, I repeated a lot of things. I wrote it down on the whole piece of paper. I used a whole piece of paper for it right here. There's that whole piece of paper that
Hey.
I'm role playing. The thing is, the reason why I'm a little bit more seasoned is because I do things that other people don't do. That's the reason why you can see the difference when you put me on the phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't deserve to be any further than anybody else who's just, I learned how to call, I understand some of the scripts, I jump on a phone call, and I don't even understand how to get better from what the scripts taught me. And that's where the majority of people are. So if you're trying to shift and trying to get to a better position on the phone, I'd highly recommend you jump in here and you actually role play repetitively so you get good. And once you get there, you can you'll see how much more access you'll get into opportunities of closing deals for other people. A lot of people can't close. It's not hard. Just got to learn.
All right, Matt. I heard you.
Does anybody have any questions?
My pen.
Errol, Dom, you guys cool? What's up, Michael?
Chilling. Everybody feeling nice. That's my pen.
Fisher, what's up, Mike Fisher?
Not much. That was a good speech.
Trying to, it's just the truth, man. It's the truth. Figured it out now. Figured it out. Just put in some time behind the scene, practice. Now it's turning around.
Carlos, I have a question.
Sure, man.
Yeah, when you're basically dealing with a seller and stuff like that, and once again, I'm basically assessing this strictly dealing with New York. Is there a preferred interest rate for like each state? Like, say I'm dealing with a seller and I'm trying to negotiate terms with them, regarding their property and stuff like that. Is there a set interest rate that goes like nationwide, or does each state have like their own like preferred interest rate? Like for New York, there's certain prices, and then for other states, 300,000 is the ARV. Is there like a universal?
I don't think there's universal for interest rates as far as like when you're doing creative financing, what they want to charge you. I believe there's maybe something like in the nation for like cap rates on properties. But it's really just about negotiation. I have properties that have one has a high interest, but I'm going to do a certain strategy with it that'll make it work. But I have some with low interest rates, 3%, 3.5, 2.8%. Then I have some that are 0%. We did a live call last Thursday, and some seller had me at 8%. I chopped it up with him and talked to him about giving him his price, but he has to work with me on the numbers so I can make money every month. I told him 8% wouldn't work with me, and he then brought it down to 6%. I then told him if I could finance that so it doesn't mess up my cash flow, would you let me do it? He said, yeah. So then I went to, instead of $70,000 purchase price, I gave him 80,000, and now we're at 0%. So it just depends on, as you learn, you'll start to hear other people negotiate, and you'll pick it up. And you're like, oh shit, you can negotiate that down to 0? Yeah, whatever it is. Now you get a savvy person who owns a lot of real estate. They're probably gonna want interest. So it's just really coming down to making them understand you need a cash flow, and you're open to paying interest. It's just that you don't want to go for fucking going rate, because then you can go and get a brand new property with going rate.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Thanks. That gave me a whole new way of looking, at
Absolutely.
what I need.
Yeah.
What I
A
need.
lot of light bulbs will turn on as you ask questions. You're like, oh wow, I just didn't know about it. Oh wow, that's not that bad. That wasn't that hard. I just didn't know about it. And a lot of that will come on a lot of these Zooms that we have.
Cool. Thanks again. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else?
No question is a bad question.
What are some of you guys doing? Does anybody need any help with anything? Anybody in particular have a deal they want to analyze, or just want to see if anybody wants to participate and involve a little bit more. Just try to help you guys out too, bring some value.
Yeah. Lauren, are you still there?
I don't think she's here.
Oh, okay, no, because I wanted to ask her permission on something because I just came across a lead. But basically, it's a lead in New York. The person wants 80,000 down. Their current mortgage that they have left on it is like 200 and hold on a second, I got paperwork. I'm drowning in paperwork.
What was the ARV on it?
Hold on a second. Back, nabbit. Let's see. They're at the seller's asking 80,000. The mortgage balance is 299,000. I haven't called him yet. The monthly payment on the property is currently 3,800. They said that the property can be built up to a 4-family. It's currently a single family. Just basically like, look, I have to call the seller up and find out what's the ARV on the property. How did they get to that distinction? This will be like my if the property is even available, it'll be like my first, I guess you would call it creative finance deal and stuff like that. But I'm basically I just happen to see it out there and it just hit all the buzzwords because the thing literally says take over their deed and all that different type of stuff. So I figured might as well take a run at it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know
So
if you
I'll
need
just-
help. If you have any questions on that, definitely help you out.
Yeah. What would be like considering the little bit of information that's on this lead? Are there any core questions like off the top of the head that I should be like asking the seller in order to break everything down?
Well, yeah, just the basics, right? Like the 4 pillars there. What's the reason behind all this? What
Mhm.
type of time frame? What's the real condition? Ask questions about the condition about it.
Mm-hmm.
Price. So there's that. This is a single family home.
Yeah, they have it listed as a single family, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a basement.
Okay. Yeah, so there's not much like you don't have to get like financials really on a single family home or things like that. Just find out, the goal, when they want to sell it, what's the current condition. That's going to help you negotiate it. But you can grab all that information and do your thing, speak to them. Obviously, if you find a way to get a cash offer in there that makes sense, lock it up. If not, you can, a couple things, right? This is what I like to do when I go do creative financing. Well, if you guys noticed on the first call with Lauren, when I ruled myself out as a cash buyer, did you guys catch me going and tell her, why don't you just list this?
Yeah.
And then after that one, I went into how come you don't just put some money into it and rent it out? So I do that for a reason, because I don't want to waste my time anymore. And I used to think when I first got into seller financing, creative financing, that once I rolled out cash, that I can automatically go and pitch creative. And it was true, I did it. But the thing is, I found out that I was wasting a lot of my time because a lot of them weren't actually open. They were just maybe open to entertaining the offer. And so got into a scenario for the first time where I was like, hey, I need some help structuring a deal. I've never structured a deal. Reached out to an experienced sub-2 student named Caleb Christopher. And I said, hey, Caleb, I need some help. I got somebody who's finally open. I just don't know how to create the terms. Can you help me out? And he goes, yeah, sure. Did you rule out the other ways that they can sell it or keep it and make money? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah. So wait, if cash doesn't make sense, then rule out cash. I said, okay, that's what I did. And did you ask them about if they wanted to list it with the realtor? I said, no. He goes, did you ask them if they would keep it and put money into it and rent it out? I said, no. And he goes, okay. Well, until you do that, you won't really know if you have a solid answer on the creative finance side. So I go back and I call him, the seller, and finds out he just rather list it. Go back to Caleb, and Caleb just tells me, yeah, because the reality is that if someone wants to sell the house, right, you're calling them out of the like the day or whatever, and now they start considering selling because a lot of people are calling them. They would rather go cash, like yourself. You sold the house, you'd rather go cash, and if it didn't work with the cash investor, you would rather list it because whoever on the other side, the homestead buyer, that person's going to get financed. The financer is going to go ahead and write a check to you, so you're going to get cashed out anyways. So if you find out cash doesn't work, then you go and you try to ask them, why don't you list this thing? You find out for reasons that I don't want realtors coming in and out of my house. I don't want to pay them. I don't live in the area. Whatever reason it is, you go in and ask them, why don't you put some money into it and you rent it out. You find out, oh, the tired landlord, they had to evict the tenant, they live far away, they don't want to do it no more. Now you're like, okay, cool. What about terms? Now they're open to it because you ruled out the other ways.
Okay.
That's what I would go do first. I would try to rule them out. Okay, would you rather list it? Oh, if they're listing it already, okay, then why don't you just put your money into it? You find out that, then obviously they're going to be open to terms. Just now, because somebody's open to terms, just like somebody's open to selling your house on cash. Don't lock it up just because somebody's open to locking it up. Like on terms too, just because somebody's giving you terms, it doesn't mean that you're getting good terms. They still have to make sense. You still should be diligent and learn. If you're pitching creative, you should be looking at it as an end buyer. So like when you present it, if you want to get in good standing with a lot of like creative finance people, if you have a deal, obviously the goal is always sweeten out the deal, but there's a lot of entry fees in there. You should always try to be considerate because your end buyer is the person who pays you, not the seller when we lock up deals. It's the person who pays you. And so it's always good to like find out how much money that you're going to be putting down. Always try to negotiate less on that part, because then there's also money they're going to be paying any other creative finance student or wholesaler. But then they have the end buyer. So there's closing costs and all these other types of fees, renovation costs and stuff. So we have to be considerate and just learn to be diligent and understand that when you're locking up these deals, it's for an end buyer to make money. And so lock them up with the intentions of you thinking, okay, this is going to be good for long-term rental. I already checked the rental rates. We're at $1,800 a month right here with what the salary is. The seller's willing to let us pay, and the rental rate in the neighborhood is $2,500. You're making it easier for you to sell the deals too. When you're showing them the strategy. Okay, this is going to be long-term rental. I checked Airbnb. This is how much it can make at night. Boom, you can start figuring out the strategies. So then it's easier. I see a lot of deals, and every time I see a deal, I've realized a lot of people are locking up pretty bad deals, high interest rates, big amount of money down. You should think this, that the more money you're going to pay on a home, the less money you want to put down, and the higher that price is to ARV, the more turnkey that puppy better be. You get me? That's the truth of it. If it's beat up and cash offers are super low, your offer should still be higher than the super low ones, but it shouldn't be ARV because you still got to put work into it. My goal is, if I'm going to get interest, 4% or less. If I'm going to do short-term rental, which I like doing short-term rentals or wraps, I want to make a minimum of $2,000 net, for the fact that I'll have an equity partner, I'll have a mentor partner in there, or myself. I just would rather get that much money as well, net minimum. So there's just a whole bunch of things when you start working, just understand strategies. It'll help you out. Soon enough, you guys will be buying. It's not that hard. What really was hard for me was once I got good at closing deals, it's all good. I can close deals. What I was still nervous about was, what do I do next once I lock it up? Like, how do I actually perform? Like simple questions like that. Like, what would be the next thing to do? Oh, get an inspection. Okay, call an inspector. Well, what would the next thing be to do on this? Well, it needs a little bit of work, right? And paint. Yeah, go get a GC in there to go look at it. Oh, okay. So what's the next thing to do? Do you have money for it, or are you going to use a lender? Let's call a lender. Okay, draft a proposal. How do you do that? Just go figure it out. Okay. So what's the next thing to do? Okay, title's clear. It is now. What's after that? Right? Those little things is all the questions I had. I had a mentor that literally answered my calls and showed me how to do the things that were very simple that I was nervous to do. I already knew I can close. That much confidence knowing I can close a deal, get a solid deal. And I was just don't know how to do the next step. And you figure out that shit is easy. That stuff is just doing paperwork, calling people, make a little mistake, lean on somebody. It's okay. But that's it. You can figure out, you guys can learn how to buy right here in this powerhouse community. You guys can learn how to buy your properties. I'll show you how to find lenders. That's why I want you guys to open up Q&A. I don't mind, spitting fire or you're giving you guys the juice. I just want to know where I can help you guys out. If you guys want to learn some more, you guys let me know what I need to tell you guys. I'll get you guys there. Ben asked Ben is killing it with Gator Lending, good lender and everything. And he said, you're starting to pick up properties, doing pretty well. I want to learn to buy. And I said, okay, do people know that you're an end buyer? No. Do you post it? No, go and post it. And within like 24 hours, we got a property together. So you guys should also, if you guys are trying to buy too, let people know as well. Hey, I'm an end
Go
buyer.
getters.
Yeah, man. I just try to help you guys out. Want to see how I can bring some true value. It's not hard. It's what you don't know. You don't know. I might know some things. Ben might know some things. You guys might know some things I don't. We're here to share the knowledge.
Yeah, and trust me, it's definitely appreciated. Now, I'm glad you brought up the Gator lender thing, because I've actually seen like a couple of postings and a couple of people have contacted me regarding Gator lending. What is like Gator lending like, so I can have a better understanding of it?
Ben, you there?
Yeah, so Gator lending is a little bit different than private money lending and hard money lending. I know a lot of people will confuse the two, but Gator lending is more of a short-term lending. So for instance, like for a new wholesaler, let's just say you lock up a deal and you need $2,000 in E&D basically to open up escrow. There's a lot of wholesalers that don't have, the funding to do it. So that's actually what I ran into a lot too. A lot of new wholesalers are afraid of locking up deals, because if they lock up deals, they don't have the money to fund. So I've been trying to reach out to people out there that, hey, I'm a Gator lender. I don't be afraid of locking up deals. Like I can back up the funding, obviously as long as we agree on what my cut out of the deal is. So we don't lend on percentage. We lend on a chunk. So a chunk of your commission. So for instance, if I'm lending you $2,000 and you're making 10,000, ideally, if it's under 10,000, I like to get 100% of my money back. So I'm gonna ask you for another 2,000 on top of mine. So I get 4,000 at the close of escrow. I have done some gap lending as well, where I've lent, 30,000 to finish a project or closing costs. And I'll ask, can I ask for 100% of my money? I can. More than likely, I probably won't get it, but I negotiate good returns. Obviously, I'm good at what I do. I like negotiating, but at the same time, I know how to build relationships, and I know how to, I try to make it so everybody wins a little bit, and everybody's happy. But gap lending, I try not to do it, but I'm open to it as long as the return's there. Like I'm actually I'm locking up a deal right now where I have a guy that's asking me for 43,000 for 45 days, and the return's gonna be 26,000. So I'll get 69,000 in 45 days. So those are the type of returns I like to negotiate if I can get away with it. Obviously, not every deal is gonna be that juicy, but yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Solid deal.
Okay, so you're the Gator lending, to use it in a term that I'm like a little bit more familiar with. It's almost similar to like transactional funding a little bit, but not specifically like transactional funding. But that's kind of like the picture.
It's more, you would say, like equity stock in the deal. They don't want no percent on their money. In reality, private money. So private money lenders are like it's soft money, not hard money, not institutional money. Anybody that owns businesses, and hey, do you have some money sitting in the bank or in stocks? Yeah. What are you getting in the bank? 1%. What are you getting in stocks? 7%. Let me back up your investment. And so if you fund my deal, I'll back it up by real estate. You could double-digit return. If you're making 7% in stocks, first protect you on a secured, tangible asset. It's a real asset. Stocks isn't. It's digital. Well, protect you on it. I'm gonna give you 12%, 15%. Private money is people who want to loan you money for a little bit longer terms. Gator lending is more experienced lending. They understand the business, so they understand, hey, there are people who can't fund the deal, so they let them go. Well, since they can't fund it, fuck it. I'm gonna tell them, hey, I want a big chunk of that just to get the deal done. You might as well get half of something or 60% of something, and instead of just
Yeah.
giving it away. So that's what Gator money is. Hey, let me tag team me in there, but pay me, pretty lavishly in the deal, just because I'll get this finished because you couldn't get it through the finish line. And that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
It's just, basically getting in there and helping somebody do something they couldn't do by putting up the funding, and then getting a nice return on that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay,
if
cool.
you're gonna wholesale, if you're not gonna wholesale and you're looking to buy and hold, I also do obviously money back, and I'll negotiate like equity on the deal as well. So obviously try to get into the deal with equity position as well. So I'm open to that as well.
Oh, okay. I definitely need to connect with you, Benjamin, just to basically pick your brain on a couple of things, because I'm seeing a lot of assets out here and stuff like that I want to move forward on. So definitely, as far as like the buy and hold thing, I definitely need to pick your brain on it. But I'll wind up asking you like 50 something questions, and I don't want to eat into everybody else's time. So, um, is there a way I could punch in your name on my messenger and then just basically connect with you directly that way?
I'm gonna put my phone number on the chat so that you can
Oh,
grab it.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay. Okay, the last part of that didn't come through, so I got the 777, but then everything after that basically didn't come through.
Here, I'll just let you, it's 777-5473.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Ooh, guys, you guys have any questions? Anything I can help you guys out with?
Yo, I got a question.
What's
It's
up?
Eric, by the way.
What's up, Eric? How are you?
Pretty good, man. So I just wanted to touch on how you were talking about when you negotiate like the payment and stuff. So you're not underwriting these deals before you even get on the phone or anything. So
No.
like how would you know if you get like the right, like monthly payment to be able to go do either like Airbnb it or wrap it to make sure there's like the right spread?
So I'm a conservative guy, and I do approximate numbers, right? Because the thing is, you go and structure every deal the way you need to underwrite it for Airbnb or something. Oh my God, you're gonna only get a couple calls out in the day, because there's a lot of things doing to it. So it's best to not be that person and comb every property before you call to find out that they didn't answer. And you do it over and over and over.
Right.
So what I do is this, like, I understand the like the basics, like, hey, what can I rent it out for? 2,500 is long-term rental. Okay, and maybe you find out it's in a short-term rental area. You can Airbnb it while you're talking. All it is just, I tell them this, I never even have to go on an amortized schedule. I'll go do a flat payment. Or I'll go do something like where I'm like, okay, well, all I need to do is cash flow. Look, we're at $1,100 right here. That's your monthly payment to your mortgage. I'm at $300 for your equity. This is the deal that we were doing with Lauren earlier on role play. So I was $14 all in. Hey, we were able to get 1,800. Where I was, okay, if I can get 1,800 and your monthly payment is 1,100, there's $700 spread left. Remember, the incentive for me to pay you more money is that you just gotta let me cash flow in there. Well, you let me cash flow. And that was it. They just understand it at that point. Oh yeah, I totally get you. Yeah, you give me more money, and obviously your business, you just need to make some money, right? Yeah. So let me make some money. And that's it. And then from there, I'll go and either just put it as that's the flat, like let's say that I go off the term, 7 years, 10 years. You find out that payment over 10 years doesn't clear that mortgage or anything. So now you don't have to do it amortized. You can just do flat payment of $650 flat payment instead of putting amortized. Now, if you got interest rate, then what you'll do is you can still negotiate. You'll still negotiate the monthly payment, and then you'll put it onto an amortized schedule. Like you find out instead of 30 years, it's like 37 years.
Right,
4
right.
years, right? You find out to get to your payment, it was 25 years amortized.
Got it. Got it. All right. Yeah, that's just kind of what I was curious about too. So, but makes sense.
Yeah, what I've seen Carlos do is he likes to multitask, so he doesn't
Mhm.
waste. He it's not that he's wasting his time, but it kind of is if you never get a seller on the phone and you spend time to underwrite a deal that it's not there yet. He likes to jump on a phone call and he starts multitasking as he's talking to them. So once he knows that there's a possibility on a deal, he still even sometimes if he doesn't lock up a deal, he'll be like, hey, you know what, let me just I want to run through some numbers and I think we have a deal here, but I just want to confirm with my business partner or whatever.
Mhm.
You can always use that too to then take the time, if you think, hey, I think I have something here, let me just run some numbers with my business partner. I think we have a deal, but if we can agree on something, just give me like 10 minutes. I'll call you back, and then if we can agree on these numbers and he's good with them, then can we send over the paperwork today and just try to lock it up then?
Got it. Got it.
My bad, I
Appreciate
was getting
that.
a little loud. I was getting loud. There's my gardener here, my dog, getting all upset.
You good?
But yeah, so that's the reality of it. You want to get comfortable and like don't overanalyze. Remember, like don't overanalyze. A lot of people, like my mentor, that fool super never overanalyzes. Never fucking ever. And I'm like notarizing some paperwork today. I'm like, hey, what about all these yes or no questions? He's like, fuck all of that. Let the escrow take care of that shit. Just sign it. I was like, oh damn. And then, dude, it's the true thing. You go and structure a deal. I understand when you're working multi-family deals. Yeah, duh, you have to because you don't understand how it seems. But when you're going creative financing and you come down to like, hey, instead of trying to just hit amortized schedule first off, why don't you just let them know that your goal for you to pay them more money is to then make money in the passive income. So hey, if you're charging me $2,000 a month and I can only bring in 2,200, I mean you're killing me right here. You're telling me to pay the max price and then give you all the money. Like if I'm just the homestead buyer, I need to make money. This would be very foolish for me as an investor. You have to start seeing it that way. And another thing is it's okay for you to allow yourself to be you and speak up and say that there's nothing wrong that you're going to say on the phone. And remember, your goal is to be transparent to the point where you even tell them how you're going to make your money. Oh, I use lenders. You go back on the role play I did earlier. You saw how transparent it was. I'm going to use lenders. I get allocated funds. I do this. I do that. That's me authentically being me. And that's why I get shit done is because I'm not so scared having to feel so professional. And when I hear somebody say no, that I get scared and never want to bring up that question again. You want to hear no a whole bunch of damn times. You want to get all the no's out the way. So then you got a yes coming around the corner. Don't be so scared.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that directly to you. It's just
No, you're good.
Anybody else have any questions?
Hey, this is Daryl. So I got to a place where the background noise is not as bad.
Oh, Gucci,
But
what's
I was curious, right? So I'm new to this, new to Pace, relatively speaking, and so I kind of jumped in on the elephant challenge that he did maybe about a month ago. Let's just say that. And so I know with the two role plays that you had with Lauren and the one that was done with Shane and Michael, how much does the conversation change when you're not talking directly to the seller, right? But you're talking to an agent as kind of, again, the elephant challenge is kind of based off of when either one trying to clearly do the cash offer or two kind of trying to create the creative finance play.
right? Yeah, so it's totally different because you're no longer direct to seller, you're just direct to agent.
Mm-hmm.
And your goal is to now be transparent with them so they understand what offers and how your mind works. And you kind of have to set yourself up right when you talk to agents. You let them know that as an investor, that you look up to purchase multiple properties. I like bringing up stories. I tell them, hey, look, I purchased in a couple different markets, and I'm not licensed, but I do work with 2 agents in 2 different markets. And what I do is, as an investor, obviously I'm not the homestead buyer, so I can't pay full market price. But I'm not a one person that's a homestead buyer that's going to buy one home every 30 years from you. I'm looking to buy 2 to 4 with you. The thing is, I am going to submit offers on your guys' listing or on your listing. They're just going to be lower because it doesn't make sense for me to pay that much. I just need to make money. And in a scenario where cash doesn't make sense, then I can offer creative financing where it's basically some money down and payments over time type of a thing. And I go ahead and take care of the commissions right there. So you're good on that end. And you set them up like that. And then now you got to start telling them, hey, well, they don't know shit. They know how to just submit the offers. They don't know the creative financing.
Right.
So you offer your cash, let's say it gets declined or countered. You should let them know, hey, would you ask them if they'd be open to carrying no? And if they say no, maybe you can ask them again, is there a reason why? You can let them be the advocate. The realtor is the one going to play ball for you anyways. They're trying to eat right there at that moment. So
Right.
like they're the ones that are going to submit your offers, but act like you have some value to them as well. And maybe bring up a little story. My team and I are actively doing deals right now in Atlanta and in Tampa. And I always bring up a story where, yeah, I started working with this one realtor. It was like on accident. I didn't know we can submit offers on listings like that. And so I did it on a listing, and you know what? She ended up picking up the buyer's commission. So me being the buyer, she ended up she double ended that deal. And then I needed to renovate it and then flip it. So then once I did that, I relisted it with her, and she got a third commission on that same property. And I just need somebody to go play ball with me. And I'm in this market, and I wanted to see if maybe that would be you. You
No,
see
that's
how
good.
you see how much more, and I just created that on the spot. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, that was dope.
but you get what I'm saying? Like if you can bring that value and bring some clarity, don't be so nervous. You got to tell them what the fuck you're trying to do. Like you really got to think like that. If they don't know what the hell your goals are, and if you're like real iffy, they hear that shit all the time. Wholesalers are more iffy than a lot of people, and they feel like they can't tell the truth because I understand that we're saying we're investors and though we're wholesaling, I still think that, if you just train the mind and already start projecting and maybe bring up some stories, that you'll get by it. I know maybe some people have problems when, oh yeah, hey, are you one of those wholesalers type of things?
Right.
And I tell them, yeah, I wholesale. That's something that I do. And there's nothing wrong with it. I do a lot of wholesaling. I also invest. I look at this deal. They ask me questions all the time, right? Like, oh, so what's a wholesaler do? It's just locking up your property at one price and selling it as is price. I mean, the goal is to get it sold, right? Yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Are you trying to buy my house as an investor, like you said you were? Yeah, I basically am looking at every house to buy. But here's the thing: if I get like a whole plate of food and I can't eat anymore, I'm just gonna wholesale that as a functioning business. Why would I lose opportunities? That's how I go out of business. I'm a business. Just rely on this. I'm a business. I need to make money. I'm an investor. I need to make money. That's all you have to say. There's nothing rude about it. Hey, as an investor, my goal here is to minimize my expenses and maximize my profits. I would be a fool if I didn't do that. There's nobody who had a goal of becoming a wealthy business person and had the goal of just spending stupidly. And even being that transparent, it's not being rude. It's just being transparent. People are like, oh yeah, it makes fucking sense because you're telling them exactly what they needed to hear. Most of you won't do that though, and you're gonna have a problem. Might as well just be a little bit more transparent. Like if you're talking to a friend that you're open to talking to, kind of thing, like that.
Yeah. No, it's good. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Carlos, I got a question.
What's that, brother?
All right, so I keep messing up on like the payment part of things when trying to figure it out, because you know how I always go in and ask a seller what is the terms that they're looking to get. Every time I get the terms, I try to sit there and figure out like, all right, what that is. And then it's like, all right, $475,000 with 20,000 down at 4%. I'm like, all right, so I know how much they want down. I know at what percent. Then I try to run the numbers, and then somehow I always mess up on what the payment would actually be like.
Right. So you just now, hey, what payment are you looking to get? Find that out, because you know how you do your amortized schedule, like how you put in all those numbers.
Yeah.
You find out, let's say it's 1,500. You don't know exactly how many years that is. Well, then fuck it. Put 30 years with the 4% at the purchase price and find out you're $300 away. So then add 3, 4 more years. You got to just plug and play the numbers at that point. So like how I do it, right? Sometimes when it's amortized, when I have, instead of a flat payment, if I have interest, I have to do it amortized. And if I still go, hey, I just got to make money. Where are you willing to accept payments at? Where am I? I didn't go and pull an amortized schedule and find out we're at 27 years for this payment. I went out and then put the payments there. And then I went to the calculator. I'm like, okay, what is this purchase price with this much interest and this much money down? Okay, and I put 30 years, what's the payment? And I find out I'm at 1,100, but I just locked it up at 1,500. Okay, so then I got to shorten the mortgage then to 25 years and see what the payment is. Oh, we find out it's 26 and a half years. Okay, so then when I draft the contract, I put 26 and a half years because it's amortized, and that comes out to almost $1,500 or whatever. And then you can even round it off in the contract, just round it off to 1,500. If it was like $17 extra or whatever it is, just round it off. Boom. You can do whatever you want in the contracts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's all it is. That's why I like to just do approximate. Hey, let me lock it up. Give me this, boom, and then I'll go and plug and play. Even if they ask me, what's that amortized? I don't know. Let me go ahead and do it now. They ask me that. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. I go and do the regular 30-year. I find out, okay, this is 37. Oh shit, it's a 42-year amortized schedule. 42 years, yeah, but you only gave me 5 years. So that doesn't really matter. Remember, I just got a cash flow. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, on that last payment, I'm gonna balloon you anyways and pay you the remaining balance. So it shouldn't matter if I even go 60 years. It just, you have to let me cash flow for the 5 years you're giving me.
Okay, so that's like a different way of thinking about it, because I'm still trying to think of the traditional way. Like, if you give me the numbers, how do I just like look it up?
No, you know what? And a lot of people do that. That's totally fine. Go ahead and just be comfortable doing it this way and find out that you're more comfortable doing it this way. You don't got to go and get super conservative. It's best to do approximate numbers and be conservative. Because if you do approximate numbers and be conservative, you're going to get a better deal than you think. Then if you're trying to get literally all technical and then give away money, you don't know what they're actually wanting to be at. So if you go and put the numbers to the calculator, you come out and you say, hey, I'll give you $1,500 a month since we can rent it out for 19. What if they were cool with fucking $1,000 a month? You would never know. That's why I always, hey, where do you need to be at? Sometimes they offer too much, right? And then that's when you have to, hey, well, look, I can only make $100. That's not gonna help me.
Okay, then yeah, that makes sense, because I was used to always just trying to be like, all right, I see that they told me that their mortgage is like $950 a month, and the market rent around there is looking like $1,500 a month. All right, it's around like $500 or so. I'm like, so are they cool? Would you be cool with taking like $250 in your pocket extra, and like, because I'm just like splitting it?
Yeah, I would even take out would you be cool and just say, okay, cool. So, there's $700, for me to make some money, I'll take, $400 or $500 and then, there's $200 left, so would that work with you? Right? Instead of almost like you have to just reword
You're
it.
backwards engineering it basically with like,
you kind of want to not be aggressive with it, but remember, you're also not an order taker. You don't work at fucking McDonald's and, oh, give me some cheese on that, and you just listen to right away. No, listen, homie, I'm paying you your price if you give me my fucking terms. So stand firm on what you need. Don't go and lock it up because somebody said yes to the term. You just got this shitty deal, and then now you're unethical again. You bring that many deals to somebody or somebody's crew or a lot of people, you get heard of. That fool doesn't know how to lock up deals. Don't even entertain those deals. Stand firm. Remember, that's what you want to look at as the end buyer. What's going to work for you? And sometimes you got to find out. Hey, listen, let's just brainstorm. Work with me here. I'm giving you your price. Let's brainstorm real quick. That's what it is, to brainstorm. I say it to them all the time. Let's brainstorm real quick. We're not done on the numbers. I need to make some money. We're almost there. Work with me on the money. Is there something I can do? Well, I'm not making that much money from you, Carlos, every month. Well, there's not that much money in there to be made. I need to make some money. Yeah. Okay. So what if I gave you 2% interest and I let that accrue over the 5 years on the back end, but it's silent. So when I balloon you your equity, I've also gave you 2% over that time frame. So it'd be X amount extra dollars. As you get into these strategies, your light bulbs will turn on as you hear more and more. But you got to get yourself into a position, put yourself in a position to find somebody's problem, and then put that problem into somebody else's lap, maybe a problem solver's lap. and then just hear how he strategizes and says things, and you just pick up, oh, okay, I didn't know you can do that. Oh, I didn't know you can ask that. There's ways to negotiate it. Okay, I'll give you 2% on the back end as well. So then that makes up from, you're not making that much money throughout the monthly income. That's fine. Is that fair? I can give you that much more money. It comes out to $15,000 more. Oh, it does? Yeah, it does. You just got to wait the 5 years. Okay, cool. I'm willing to do that. Boom. Because all you're going to do is cash out, refinance, and now use another person's money, a bank or something, you know?
Okay, for sure. For sure. That sounds great.
Yeah, but
So what are we doing with the Fresno property? Do we figure out private money and then we just keep it for ourselves as Airbnb?
what are they going to duplexes or they're single family homes?
Single family homes.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to work them.
Do you want to like just look at the posts real quick? They're real fairly simple.
Can you share your screen?
How do you do that? If I click this, it says host disabled participant screen share.
Oh, okay, it's because Josh doesn't like you. That's why.
I know I've been trying to get on his good side by giving him extra savage points every time I see him.
Yeah, he must not like you that much.
He's waiting for me to lock up my first deal. I know it's all love.
Oh man. Or if you
I'm
want,
just
we
gonna
can-
put this in the chat real fast and you just grab it and look at it. It doesn't matter if you show everybody or not. I'm just trying to make sure you see it.
Cool. We can underwrite it with stamp too. Right there. Oh wait, it's just a single family home. Let's just do approximate numbers.
It's like 2 single family homes on both lots. If you look at the lot, like you only really need one thing to see the whole thing. If you look at the lots.
Okay. Is he selling it like that in the bundle?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was like, hold on, I need somebody to look at this one for me. Because if you really look at it, the second he's asking for 475, and I believe that's for the whole thing, that both of them come with 2 things, and each one of them has separate ARVs. So it's basically 4 of them. So I was trying to see if there was an actual like some type of leverage there of the way it looks, because it says he's asking for 475 for that, but the one to the right of it is worth 298. The other one he wants 475 for, but the one to the right of it is worth 315. And the way he's wording it inside of his description is like, if you go 475, you get both. And if you go 475 on the other one, you get both. And I'm like, that's, if you think about it, you're getting more.
He's selling them both for 475?
Yeah, the 2 listings are for the houses facing the street. And basically in the descriptions, it's saying that the descriptions also say the other lots of what's actually right next to it on that lot. So it would basically be 2 lots. You get 4 single family homes. All of them have different driveways and entry paths and non-connected.
So are the regular homes 2 bed, or it says 4 bed, 1 bath, 1,600 square feet? Are both of them that size?
I wrote it all down. 4461 is a 3-2, about 1,500 square feet, 1965. 4471 is a 4-2, about 1,400 square feet, 1946. The 1946 and stuff, that's like the year it was built. And then 4423 is a 4-1, 1,600 square feet, 1995 build. And 48443 is a 3-2, 1,600 square feet, 1950s build.
Is he selling those 4 homes for 475, or is he selling both, 2 for 475 and 2 for 475?
That's what I was thinking, the 2 and the 2. Because it says 4461 and 4471 is a package for 475, but at the same time, you feel me, 4471 has its own ARV of 315. So if you was buying it for 475, what do you think like a 4-1 or a 3-2 with ARV would be in this scenario at the same time? It's like the same thing. So if you double it, 475 ain't, you're getting around like 615 if the ARVs is true for both.
Damn, he's had this shit for 84 days.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I like these people.
And he said 20, and he told me 20% down at 4%. Everybody else is around
like-
8,
like-
9.
That's not bad. I mean, you gotta think like I don't mind. Well, I gotta check out the condition. I don't mind going 20%, but I'd like to be 20% all in, like meaning money down to the seller and renovation costs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's where I like to be. I can go a little bit more. I just don't like. I just prefer to be where I want to be.
But I was feeling like there's something in there because if regardless of how you look at it, if you got a 3-2 and a 4-2 sitting on the same lot and the 4-2 is worth 315, what you think the 3-2 is worth?
Yeah. No, I mean,
And then but he's selling it for 475. Like,
yeah.
you know,
What else?
see that
What else?
there
Have
might
you
be
talked to
something
him
there.
already? You talked to him?
Barely. If we were doing the role play the other day, remember? It was during that, and I had just sent a text to him
Oh, okay.
because that's when I figured out. That's when I figured out that he actually owned the other two. Because I had to ask him. Asked him. I said, you said you would carry a private note. What are those terms looking like for the package deal? He said 20% down, carry the note at 4%. I said at 475. I said a 475K purchase for both with 20% down at 4% on a 30-year note ? Then I found out that he owned the other ones by asking him, seeing his phone number on there with the same description damn near basically. So I asked him, did he also own them? And I put the address on there and he just said yes. And then I just straight up said, would you be able to email me a rent roll and a T12 for all the properties, and then put my email. And then I went back to doing what we was doing.
Okay. Yeah. Let's wait for that, and then I'll get on the phone with him like tomorrow. Or you're in
I don't-
Cali too, right? So we can get maybe today.
Yeah, but I don't know if he sent, let me check real fast. I don't know if he sent it or not because like after he texted me that he didn't really text back because I didn't get on the phone with him.
Oh, I feel you.
And he didn't send it yet.
Yeah, I'd like to work that one though. I mean, if he's open, I mean, it's been there for 84 days. I'm sure other people cracked at it, but here's the difference. How seasoned are those motherfuckers compared to me? Where this is the only difference is when you get into these games, it's just about somebody might be a little bit better than you, and those are the people you're going to lose a deal to. It happens to me, and it's going to happen to a lot of other people who are not on the same level.
So real quick, if I was to call him, what would I need to get from him for us to keep going with this?
Well, yeah, get all the information you can, like all the financials if you can, so that we can actually underwrite it. This is
Okay.
this is just it's like these are just single family homes, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a portfolio of 4 single family homes. I'd like to underwrite them because I'd like to see if we can get photos and if they're currently rented out, all that stuff like that. With each of them have ARV, so if we have to go and get comps on them from like a realtor or get individual comps, so we can run it all the right way, then analyze it with what his terms are, so then we can give a counter if we have it, or see if it's going to work like that, right?
Okay.
Because I'll do 4%. You know, that's like the max I want to do, 4% on anything, and 20%.
I'm saying I've been trying to negotiate with people starting at 8-9% and trying to get them down to like 4%.
I just tell them this: I could go to the bank and get a brand new home that's like completely fixed for 7%. Why would I go and give you 8 for a home that I need to work on?
Yeah, and the 30 years.
I mean, I get a lot nicer, obviously, guys, right? Unless the person's aggressive. It's way nicer.
Well, it's a realtor out here that does a lot of work and puts it up on YouTube and shit. And he just said that the 30-year fixed in Sacramento just went down to 4.99.
Oh wow. Okay. But still, he's probably just looking for like a homestead end buyer.
Yeah.
Investor, you know, savvy investor just wants to make money too. And so in the end, they're just looking for somebody. Yeah, you can buy it on terms, just on my terms. Like I want full price for everything, market price, market rent, everything, which makes sense to a homestead buyer.
See, I think I took a picture of that shit. I need to figure out everything standing.
Cool guys. Well, I'm gonna go grab some dinner or something. Pretty hungry. I appreciate all you guys. I'm gonna run this shit tomorrow again. And much love. Hope we brought some value today, guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
No, appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate you, dog.
Peace out, guys.
Everybody be safe.
Have a good night.